Let me paint a picture and tell me if this feels familiar. You're scrolling on your phone. Maybe it's Twitter, maybe it's Reddit, maybe it's YouTube, and you see it. Someone just made money, a lot of money. They bought a stock early, they caught a trend, they invested in something you didn't, and suddenly, something changes in your body. Your chest tightens a little, your breathing gets shallow, your mind starts racing. You start thinking things like, did I miss it? Is it too late? Should I jump in before it goes even higher? And the weirdest part? 5 minutes ago, you were fine. You had a plan. You weren't stressed. You weren't panicking. But now you feel behind. If you've ever felt that emotional shift, that quiet panic that maybe everyone else is getting rich without you, yeah, this video is for you because that feeling has a name and it is absolutely destroying people's financial lives. My name is Kevin, and I spend way too much time thinking about money and investing psychology. If you're someone who feels anxious when markets go up without you, second guesses your financial decisions, or constantly worries that you're too late, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today we're talking about FOMO finance, the fear of missing out, why it feels so powerful, why it makes smart people do really dumb things, and, most importantly, how to actually beat it. Here's the thing, FOMO is not a money problem. It's a psychology problem that shows up through money. And most people don't realize this. According to long-term investor behavior studies, the average investor underperforms the overall market by about 3 to 4% per year. Not because the market is unfair, not because investing doesn't work, but because of emotional decisions. Let's put real numbers on that. If you invest $10,000 and earn 8% annually for 30 years, you end up with just over $100,000. If you earn 4% instead, because of bad timing, panic selling, and FOMO, you end up with around $32,000. Same market, same starting money, completely different outcome. That difference isn't intelligence, it's behavior. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but why does this feel so intense? Here's what most people don't realize. FOMO activates the same survival wiring in your brain that reacts to real threats. Your brain doesn't interpret someone else making money as neutral information. It interprets it as, you are falling behind the group. And historically, falling behind the group meant danger. So your brain releases stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, and suddenly everything feels urgent. That urgency is not logic, it's biology. This is why FOMO feels physical. Restlessness, impulsivity, that urge to just do something. And this is where it gets really interesting. Social media magnifies this effect dramatically. Because you're not seeing reality, you're seeing highlights. You're seeing wins, not losses. Screenshots, not stress. Outcomes, not process. Which means you're comparing your entire financial life to someone else's best moment. That comparison is poison. FOMO whispers one incredibly dangerous lie. If you don't act now, you'll never get another chance. Look, this is wrong. Markets do not work like one-time events. Opportunities are not rare, they are constant. Let me give you an analogy. Imagine you're standing at a bus stop. A bus comes by. You miss it. Do you panic and sprint into traffic because this was my only chance? No, you wait. Because another bus is coming. Markets work the same way. But FOMO convinces you this was the last bus. And that belief makes people jump into things they don't understand, at prices they didn't plan for. With money they can't afford to lose. That's not investing. That's anxiety with a brokerage account. Let me tell you about two people. Same age, same income, same starting point. Person A invests consistently. They automate their investments. They don't react to headlines. Person B waits. Then the market starts going up. They feel behind. They panic. They invest a large lump sum near the top because this time is different. A year later, the market pulls back. Person A keeps investing. Person B panics again and sells. Same market, same opportunities, completely different outcomes. And the difference wasn't knowledge, it was emotional control. Okay, but what if I actually miss out? That's a fair question. And here's the honest answer. You will miss out on some things. Everyone does. No one catches every rally, no one buys every bottom, no one sells every top. But missing out on some gains is not the same as missing out on wealth. Wealth is built through consistency, not perfection. Let's ground this with math. If you invest $500 a month for 30 years at an average 7% return, you end up with roughly $600,000. And here's what most people don't realize. Missing a few great days in the market because you were scared or waiting can destroy a massive chunk of that return. But trying to time those days often does even more damage. The solution is not timing, it's staying invested. Time in the market beats timing the market, not because it's catchy, but because it's mathematically true. Here's something we haven't talked about yet, and it's important. FOMO doesn't just cost you money, it costs you clarity. Every time you act out of fear, every time you chase something because everyone else is doing it, you weaken your ability to trust yourself. And that loss of trust is expensive. When a FOMO decision works, people learn the wrong lesson. They think, see, I had to rush. But when it doesn't work, and that's more common, they don't just lose money, they lose confidence. They start second-guessing every future decision. They hesitate. They overthink. They constantly wonder if they're doing the wrong thing. This creates a destructive loop. You hesitate, you see others winning, you feel FOMO, you rush, you regret it, you hesitate even more next time. That loop keeps people stuck for years. Professionals think differently. In finance, there's a concept called decision quality. A good decision is judged by its process, not by its short-term outcome. A bad decision can work once. A good decision can fail temporarily. But over time, process wins. FOMO destroys process because urgency replaces planning, and urgency is the enemy of long-term wealth. You do not need to catch every opportunity. You only need to catch enough of them. So how do you beat this? Not with willpower, with structure. Here's what works. 1. Automate your investing. When money moves automatically, emotion stays out of it. 2. Reduce noise. Checking your portfolio daily increases stress, not returns. 3. Define enough. If you don't know what enough looks like, everything will feel insufficient. FOMO thrives in undefined goals. This is where it gets really interesting. FOMO isn't actually about money. It's about identity. It's about who you think you should be by now. Once you realize that, you stop chasing returns and start building a life. Look, you are not behind, you are not late, you are not missing out. You're just human. Living in a system designed to constantly make you feel like you're not enough. Calm, boring, consistent investing is how real wealth is built. If this video helped you rethink how you approach money, hit subscribe. And comment below, what's the last financial decision you almost made because of FOMO? I'll see you in the next one.